See, I never understood when you drink wine or taste wine, typically you spit it out. I appreciate on your show that you don't.
We have one, if you would like one.
I don't think we need it.
We don't. Hello, I'm sommelier André Hueston Mack, and this is Through the Grapevine, a celebrity wine tasting with a twist, where we test their ability to tell the difference between cheap and expensive wines, all while having a great conversation. Today, we welcome Tessa Thompson.
Thanks so much for having me. This is a dream.
You like wine, taste wine?
I do like wine, I do taste wine, but I'm not good at it. I mean, I'm good at drinking. I'm
Correct,
just not
no, of course you are. Of course you're
about-
good at drinking.
I'm not good at talking about wine.
But you know what you
necessarily.
like though, right?
And my taste is refining. I'm getting a sense.
I think that's all that matters. You're an expert on your own taste. So I'm gonna give you the setup. We're gonna do 5 wines at 5 various price points, between $5 and $500, and you'll be tasked with guessing how much you think each bottle is worth, based on sight, smell, and taste alone. Everything's been broken out by category, listed on the cue card that you have in front of you.
Okay, helpful.
If you guess the right category, you win the round.
Okay, great. And if I guess them all right, what do I get?
No one's ever done it.
Well, it all ends here today. This is something you're supposed to do to help it breathe, right?
Yeah, give it a little swirl and a little sniff. 80% of taste is smell. So you want to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth, kind of get a better smell. And then I want to agitate the wine or aerate the wine a little bit by swirling it.
I love to agitate.
You like that? Yeah, you do?
Is this an Albarino?
Wow, you're just coming right out the gate firing, huh?
Is it?
No.
Okay. Is it a Vino Verde?
No.
Okay, cool. Is it a Gruner?
Wow, you know your stuff.
Well-
It's not a Gruner, but you're getting closer.
I'm really bad at notes.
I get a little lemon, lime, peach.
I'm getting a summer's morning. Is that a note?
That's good. I always talk about, to me, I was like, if you can't guess a smell or you can't get anything, talk about what it reminds you of or how
Okay.
you'd like to enjoy it.
What about fresh cut grass? Any of that in there?
There's a little grassy notes to it. It is.
Okay.
It totally is. It totally is.
This is highly drinkable, tasteable.
It's got pretty decent acidity. I think my mouth is starting to salivate.
Same, this would be nice. Some oysters.
Yep, so look at her, she's like sommelier already. Pear and wine, this is great, this is awesome. So Tessa, based on sight, smell, and taste, what do you think this wine is worth?
You know, I was going between a couple, but I'm gonna say it's a daily dose. It has some complexity, but you know, maybe 25 if you're gonna get this bottle of wine.
So, daily dose.
It's maybe a nice gift.
Nice gift. Okay.
$16, $10. It's a daily
We have
dose.
Kumusha, this is Chenin Blanc from South Africa. So,
I was right the first time. So we count that, I say daily dose twice. I think that counts.
I'm not drunk enough yet. I'm not drunk enough for that
well,
count.
okay, we'll get more drunk later and then you can take that back and see how I fare on these
We'll
other
see.
ones.
We'll see how well you do on the other ones there.
Okay.
Chenin Blanc is a known grape in the Loire Valley, cross between like Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc. But what's really cool here is this is actually from South Africa, so lower half of the equator. This is what they kind of do best.
It's a beautiful wine. I realized in this exchange that I have to be careful with you because I said daily dose twice and you repeated it to me to instill doubt. So I know what game we're playing.
I have no idea what the wines are.
I'm on to you.
All right, we're gonna move on to bottle number 2.
She smells expensive.
What does that smell like?
A certain kind of complexity, sophistication, intrigue.
Smells pretty complex, right? Totally.
Right? She doesn't smell super young. What's that for?
Oh, that noise that I'm making? I'm trying to aerate the wine, so as it's in my mouth, I'm kind of sucking in air. Pretty fun. You want to try it?
I'm gonna try.
You gonna try it?
I'm gonna try it and see how it goes.
I'll try it with you.
Okay, ready, go, aerate. Oh, a double aeration, okay.
As a professional, a lot of times, you push the wines in certain parts of your mouth and it can tell you certain things. Wood tannin kind of affects my gums, so I generally push the wine through the front part of my teeth.
Does that mean that it's typically more expensive?
That's a great question. Generally speaking, oak adds to the price, right?
Oh,
Oak
right.
barrels are pretty expensive. And then the fact that you might age them in barrel for 1 to 2 years, that's 1 to 2 years that you don't receive any type of return. So I think a lot of that is passed on to the consumer. All right, so now you had a little taste of the wine. Are we talking street tacos?
We're definitely not talking street tacos.
Why do you say that?
I feel like when you have a truly expensive bottle of wine, whether or not it's to your taste, it tells your tongue that it ain't cheap.
So it's not cheap. Hold on now. Do you like chopped cheese? You don't do chopped cheese. Do you do chopped cheese?
You mean cheese that's just been chopped, or what is it?
It's a sandwich. It's an iconic New York sandwich called chopped cheese. I think it's a New York version
of a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, of our sandwich kind of thing.
And so in your estimation, is this a street taco or chopped cheese?
For me, I'd probably do chopped cheese on this. So I heard you're like a flexitarian?
I'm a flexitarian.
What
yeah.
is that?
I'm flexible in my dietary restrictions.
Oh, okay, so.
But there are certain things I have never eaten, surprisingly. Like I have never eaten an egg.
What?
I have never eaten a hamburger.
Never had a hamburger? Mm-mm. An egg? Mm-mm. Wow, that's amazing.
I don't know if it's amazing.
Well, no, I mean, like in the time in the world in which we live in, where everything's so accessible that like, you know what I mean? And commercialized and those kind of things, you know, it's like, so what was dinner like for you at the table?
It depends. Wine has actually been a big part of our experience because my family loves to really cook and to drink, and wine is such a part of that.
So where are you gonna weigh in on this wine here?
Okay, let me just have one more experience.
Yeah, sure.
Irrigating it?
Aerate.
Oh, wait.
Aerate. Irrigate, it's a little different.
Irrigation is involved in making wine, though. You have to irrigate.
That is true. That's
right?
true.
Okay.
You know your stuff. I love that. Based on sight, smell, and taste, what do you think this wine is, Tessa?
I think this wine is a nice gift.
Nice gift?
It's on the upper side of a nice gift, which is around 50.
So this is 2007.
No.
Emidio Pepe.
No.
Montepulciano di Abruzzo.
It's a Lux Life.
It is. It totally is.
It is a Lux Life. You know, I did think that based on the smell.
You have to trust your instinct. You were there. What I love about this particular producer, I mean, they really kind of set the standard for biodynamics. So, you know, it's like taking organic to another level for all of Italy. So they're really a pioneer in that industry.
You know, see, this is the thing. If you brought this to a party as a gift, you might try to find a very subtle and graceful way to let the person know that you had brought them Lux Life.
True.
And not just a nice gift.
True. I mean, I think you probably have that more at the beginning of the evening, and maybe a smaller
you
section.
drink down, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so now we're gonna move on to round number 3.
This seems not as complex.
It reminds me of cotton candy.
Ooh.
I used to have to make cotton candy when I worked at Chuck E. Cheese when I was 17.
Oh, wow, Chuck E. Cheese.
And every now and then they would let me be Chucky.
No way.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. I was going places.
That's a really big deal, let me tell you. I spent a lot of time as a bar mitzvah dancer. That was my job before I started working as an actor. And anytime you could be in charge of getting grandma up in the chair during the hora was a big deal. It was like the equivalent of being Chucky.
It smells like, to me, like baby aspirin.
Wow. Okay.
Whatever comes to mind, I think you just blurt it out.
It's just first thought, best thought.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
It smells like a sour cherry when it's been sitting out too long.
I get that. I get cherry.
You do?
Big time. What kind of music do you like?
Recently, I've been on a Prince kick again. I mean, he's one of my favorite artists of all time, but I'm pretty all over the map. I come from a family of musicians, so I grew up around music a lot.
Were you ever in a band?
I was in a band.
What?
I mean, I was trying to act, I was auditioning a lot, but I was more making music, and I was in a band, and we were traveling the country. In fact, I had to leave one of our tours to go make a movie, this movie called Selma. And that was a turning point where I realized maybe I wanted to focus more squarely on acting.
So in college, you studied cultural anthropology. Mm-hmm. Do you use that in any of your work today, acting? I'm
not like studying stool samples, for example, but I'm certainly spending a lot of time.
I want to watch that movie.
Actually, me too. My favorite ways to prepare for a role has to do with kind of getting anthropological in spaces. So when we were making Creed, is trying to go into hair shops and nail shops in Philly and listen to the dialect there and the way people are talking and take pictures.
Is there any Philly slang that you would assign to this particular wine?
Okay, I would say this is decent.
Decent.
But in Philly, that would mean like much better than.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, decent. Okay, I'm gonna use that.
Yeah, she's decent.
Thank you. So, based on sight, smell, and taste,
And decency.
what do you think this wine is worth?
I would say that this wine is worth a special occasion, which is between $51 and $151.
And what makes you think that?
I think it feels sophisticated, classy. It seems like a thing that you could offer, you know, to a special occasion, and people would pop it open and go, okay, this isn't $2 Chuck. Yes, thank you.
All right, $2 Chuck.
This moment of truth.
This is the 2019 Pierre Paillard.
Okay.
This is Coteau Champenoise, and you want to reveal the price there?
Yes, yes,
You got it right?
yes.
Woo! Cheers to that.
Cheers. This is a special occasion.
It is a special occasion, thank you.
Me winning something. Well, not the whole thing, but me at least, this is a point.
We're in a step in the right direction.
All right, this is a really nice wine. I really enjoy it.
So this is actually the only region within Champagne that they're allowed to make still wine. So very rare. Generally, it's all consumed within Champagne. Never is really exported anywhere. But the handful of things that we get a chance to get, these are one of my favorite things to drink.
And how would you pronounce this here?
That's a Bouzy Rouge.
I would say Bouzy.
Yeah, Bouzy. Bouzy Rouge? Here's the Bouzy Rouge. All right. All right, we'll go ahead and start fourth round. Ooh.
Ooh.
It's got a little funk on it. It's good funk though to me.
I like funk. I'm into funky.
This is a slightly barnyard kind of funk, not more like manure, but like...
Manure. I was hoping for a manure one on this one. I've seen manure ones on others. I was excited.
I have like this envy for actors because it seems like you go on auditions and like you're used to hearing the word no. And it's funny because as a salesperson, it's devastating for me to hear no. You know what I mean? It's like...
The statistics around like how many times you audition before you even get a call back in the industry is absurd.
Got it.
But you sort of know that you're up against those odds. I think something that's been interesting for me recently is trying to figure out like, when you're dealing in an environment of scarcity, sometimes you feel like you have no choice. Any yes you get, you gotta take it.
Correct.
Because you don't know when you might get another one again, right? But I think when you think in the course of a career, you're as much defined by the things that you don't do as by the things that you do. And so I think at a certain point it becomes about engaging with no. And I'm partial, so I have a tattoo here that says yes, that I got first, and then I have another tattoo here which says no, that I got second, which is to remind myself of the ability to say no, and also sometimes the opportunity that comes when you get a no. Sometimes it's a good thing and it sets you free to do other things.
I heard you did an audition in the bathroom. Is that true?
It was when I was still a musician or singing in a band.
Okay.
And I was auditioning for the first Creed. So I get a call like hours before. We're in like a dingy bar in the middle of like, I don't know where, like somewhere. He asked if I could send another thing of me singing and doing something. And so I shot that audition in a lady's bathroom, which was smelly.
And they said yes.
Eventually they said yes, yeah.
All right, so based on sight, smell, and taste,
Okay.
Tessa, what do you think this wine is?
I think this is an
Short
affordable wine.
Affordable wine?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because it's nice and it's drinkable, but I think it's pretty light. You know when you all talk about notes and they hit you in stages and then this note happens, I feel like it ends on the same
So one trick pony.
note.
It's not.
It does what it does and then it's out. And it's not bad
Correct.
what it does, but it doesn't give
You're not
me...
mad at it, but...
I'm not mad at it,
yeah.
I'd happily drink it.
So this is 2020 Viña Sonora, and this is Garnacha from Spain. Would you take a look at the price?
And it costs $12.
You think you're slick, don't you?
Which means she's affordable. Doesn't mean she's bad.
No, she's not bad at all.
She's good.
And think about this. The grapevines from this particular wine are over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Right? It's just insane to think that like something that's 100 years old produce a wine that's $12. And that point for me, I feel like that kind of over delivers, and it kind of, has more bang for your buck.
She's, what do they say, punching above her weight.
Punching above her weight.
And also, I think all people should be able to drink a glass of wine when they want to, so.
We are moving on to the 5th round.
Okay, they say you can't judge a book by its cover. I judge a wine by its color. Is that a mishap?
No, I think there's a lot of things that you can tell from that, but but also color is beauty, right? So in that idea of it's something to marvel at when you look at it.
Ooh, okay.
I think it's like a leather, kind of woodsy component to it.
Nail polish remover?
Oh my God, you're so good. You're so good. That's exactly what I get.
What? Really?
That's you know what, because it's a real thing. It's called acetate.
Yeah, it's acetate.
Yeah, but
well, I just call it acetone. Hey.
Fingernail polish remover, here we go.
Yeah, I really
That's a good thing.
It is?
I think it's a good thing.
Okay. It's good for me. I couldn't live without nail polish remover, truly.
Amazing. Let's talk about representation.
Yeah.
I read somewhere where you were talking about being in sci-fi films and stuff like that, and that in that genre, that race doesn't really matter. Am I correct with that?
It both doesn't matter and it matters entirely.
Okay.
Which is that I think some of those genre ticks are places that historically folks of color, and more specifically Black folks, have been excluded from in a way.
True.
But something that I think gets missed in the conversation about representation is not just do we get to exist in a lot of films, do we get to exist in frames, but what kind of films do we get to exist in? And what sort of frames? That there's not just diversity in terms of the color of the people on screen, but there's diversity of thought and presentation and idea. I had a conversation with my dad, actually, where there was a film that there was a young black man who was trying to be a sommelier. And that was something that we hadn't seen.
If you don't see it, then you don't believe it. Right?
And
so
also,
you have to
if
be
you
there.
don't see it, you don't know that you can.
Correct. You don't know it's
be it.
possible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
And I think for me, I never really understood the power of that until I got into wine. I think it was something that my mother always talked about. But at least for me, I was like, I believed you when you said I could do anything. Right? You know what I mean? And I didn't realize that most people that didn't work for most people. And it wasn't until later on that I realized that just me doing what I'm doing, other people believe that they could be in this space. So what are you working on now? What projects do you have out?
The season premiere of Westworld happened recently. We just premiered the next Thor movie, Thor: Love and Thunder. I have some personal projects. I'm really focusing on that and taking a little bit of time off and maybe drinking some nice wine.
And we're back. We're back to the same place, same time, based on sight, smell, and taste.
Okay.
Tessa, how much do you think this wine is worth?
You know what she is? She's a nice gift. This is the thing, I think, if you really know the gift you're getting for a person, you can be very specific about what they might like to drink. But if you don't, you want to get something that feels like, it toes the line while also being spectacular in its own right.
You know what my mother used to
Deserves it.
say for a gift? She said, buy what you like, that you would like for them, if you don't know exactly what they want. And if they don't want it, then you just bought a gift for yourself.
That's exactly what I think too.
So, we have the Ashanta. This is Zinfandel.
And you know what I love about it most?
What do you love about it the most?
Is that at this point, it's a nice gift.
You're funny. You're funny. Well, Tessa, we're gonna move on to what we like to call this or that round.
Okay.
Right, it's kind of lightning quick, rapid fire. Let you wet your whistle first. You ready? Let me know when you're ready.
Ready, my whistle is sufficiently wet.
Okay, all right, got it. David Bowie or Prince? Got you.
No, I can't.
Really? Now that's the first. LA or New York?
New York.
Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
Say it louder.
Tupac.
You don't have to whisper that, it's okay.
I do, because
Why?
both are really hard for me. Come on, I split my time between LA and New York, and but there's Tupac was my longest running crush as a human, so.
Okay. Okay. Theater or film?
No,
Is it different?
No, it's different.
Okay.
To see theater.
To see theater.
To be in film.
Red wine or white wine?
red.
Halloween or birthday party?
Halloween.
You a Halloween person?
Come on, my whole career is based on Halloween. I just dress up.
All right, Tessa, that was amazing. You got 3 out of 5.
Well, I think I got more than, I got 4. Well, we can talk about this later.
That might be the alcohol talking. Cheers, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much for having me.
See you next time on Through the Grapevine. Cheers.